Friends, how are you doing? Today is Tuesday, May 14th, and I am back with my stitching update. It's been 3 weeks since my last one, so I hope you are all doing well. If you're brand new to my channel, welcome. My name is Olivia, and this is my YouTube channel, Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. Today's video is primarily going to be about cross stitching. The only quilting I have to show is the quilt hanging up behind me, which is the Temecula album quilt by Temecula Quilt Company. The past 3 weeks have been incredibly busy for me. I have had no time to do any quilting for myself. I did manage to do one client quilt at the beginning of the 3 weeks, but other than that, my sewing machine has been silent, and I do miss quilting, but it's been so busy for me here that I've had to just kind of like let things go for a little while. The weather here has been amazing, so a few of the days that I had off, I was out working in my flower beds, and other than that, life stuff, chores, and just all sorts of things. It's just, there's so much going on right now in my world, and I have 3 weeks until my son Ethan graduates high school, and there's still so much left to be done. I have company coming to visit, and my plate's full. Like, things are falling off the plate. It's so full, and just trying to make things happen has just been very, very challenging. Like last week, I was supposed to record a video and upload it for last Saturday, and I just could not make it happen. So here we are today. Today's video is just going to be all about cross stitching. I am so sorry to all my quilting friends who do look forward to the quilting segment. I can't even promise that my next video will have quilting in it, and it most likely, the quilting segment of the videos most likely won't show up until July. June is just full up, and you know, yeah, it's just full up. So I am sorry. I would just ask that you guys, you know, give me a little grace. We all have, there are times in all of our lives where things just get extremely busy, and right now it is just extremely busy in my little neck of the world. Okay, so the Temecula album quilt that is hanging up behind me, the last time I checked, which it's been a couple of months, it was available on her website, Temecula Quilt Company. I think it was available as a PDF download, but I will make sure to put a link to the pattern down below if I can find it. Like I said, it's been a couple of months since I kind of looked into if it was still available. As far as I know, it is. If I can't find it, or if she has taken it off her website, I will make sure to put a note in the description box. But otherwise, if I find it, I'll put a link to it down below in the description box. Okay, so I think I'll start off today's video by sharing a little bit of mail that I got. After I got my first paycheck, I decided to treat myself, and I bought the Peace on Earth sampler by Samplers Not Forgotten. I bought it fully kitted from Country Sampler in Spring Green, Wisconsin. So this chart, I did have it in my shopping cart during market, and then I put it back. I decided to be responsible, but I kind of regretted not getting it then, even though, of course, it's available everywhere now. It wasn't exclusive to the Country Sampler. And I realized that, you know, I didn't need it right now, so I put it back, kind of regretted it, wish I would have got it. And then I decided that with my paycheck, I would treat myself. So I bought the kit from Country Sampler. It comes with the linen and all of the threads. I got the 40 count winter woolens by Seraphim, and I can't wait to start this. So in I'm in a like a text group with the same group of friends that do the Friday nights at Hawker Hollow. And I think I already had this on the way, and I think they were talking about starting it in July, but I'm not 100% sure, and I did not verify anything. It's kind of hard to keep up with the conversations in the text group because a lot of the times I'm working and I don't see them until I get home late at night. Or I shouldn't say late at night. When I sit down like after dinner and I'm going through my phone, and usually the conversations are long over, but I think they were talking about starting it in July. So if that's true, I will start working on Peace on Earth in July. And I'm looking forward to it because I love it. It's a beautiful sampler. During Christmas, Country Sampler always sends out a newsletter, and they had it hanging up on the wall, and I would always see it, and I just couldn't wait for it to come out. And yeah, I'm just really excited that, I have it. And then I received a wonderful surprise in the mail from my friend Chris, who is OSU Mommy on Instagram. She made me this beautiful project bag, and the fabric that she used was the Rose fabric line by Joe Morton. And I'm still so bummed that Joe retired, but I hope that she's having a wonderful retirement. She was a fabulous designer, and I wish I would have found my way to her a long time ago. But Chris stitched my name, so it's got Olivia's stitching on this patch. And then this is the backing that she used. I think this is a Blackbird fabric, if I am correct. It's also aligned with the same fabric. So I cannot wait to find the perfect project to put in here. She also made me this little zipper pull. I just love it. And I have enjoyed having it out ever since it arrived. I just love it. Love it, love it. So thank you so very much, Chris. I've already been in contact with her. Occasionally, Chris does come to my neck of the woods because her mom, I think, lives up in Vancouver. So hopefully sometime very soon we can get together and have some coffee. All right, so over the past 3 weeks, I know when you think 3 weeks, you think there must have been a lot of stitching that happened, but that's actually not the case. I have not worked on any of my assignments for the month of May. It's already the 14th, trying not to panic. I've been trying to focus more on the mocking basket of whips. I'm still going to do my assignments. I have a project that I'm working on, and as soon as it's done, I will start back on my assignments. I just have 3, and hoping to get them done by the end of the month. But if it doesn't happen, it's okay. I'll just fall behind and I'll catch up, maybe in June. But I've been trying to focus on the mocking basket of whips, and I pulled 3 projects and started to rotate between the 3 of them. And when I got to the second project, I decided to continue working on it until it was done. And I'm doing the same thing with the 3rd project, if that makes any sense. The only time I've been switching is to work on my Sunday project, which is His Eye on the Sparrow with my friend Michelle. So I basically just, for the most part, I've stayed a little bit monogamous. It was kind of nice not having to like rotate through a bunch of stuff, coming home, dinner, and then sitting down in the evening just to work on the same project until it's done. It's been kind of nice, but in terms of a video, not so nice, because obviously doing these Flosstube videos, you need to have content to share and show, and I finally have some to share. So not counting Sunday night, but for the past 7 evenings, I've been working on Christmas in My Heart by Samplers Not Forgotten. I think the last time I showed this, I was still working on the house. I think I was like down under here. So I was able to finish the house. and start, I did the words at the top, stitch the Christmas tree, and then I'm working my way down the vine. I believe on that side of the house there are 4 trees altogether, so I just have 3 more to go. So I'm hoping in the next couple of evenings to be able to have a finish with this one. I do have an ulterior motive for getting this one done, and that is that I want to take this one and then 2 other projects to Hobby Lobby and pick out a frame for them. And we don't get into Salem all that much. I mean, we do occasionally, but I like to try to condense things a little bit, just kind of save gas. So I want to be able to take the 3 of them in and pick out frames for them. So I absolutely love working on this so very much. It's just so beautiful. I love everything about it. I love the big behemoth beast of a house, and I love the gorgeous vine, the pot, and the words above the house. I just love it all. And the linen I'm stitching it on is a 40 count Vintage Meadow Rue, which is yummy. And I wish more than anything I could get my hands on some more of it, because it's wonderful. I love it. The linen is by Lakeside Linens, which can be a bit of a challenge to find. Occasionally you do find a shop that has, you know, a little bit in stock, and it's like finding gold. Love it, love it. And I'm sorry if you can hear Freddie. He's just kind of wandering around the room right now. He's on the couch, bless you. But he's just kind of like all over this room chewing on his bone. I would show him, but he is extremely dirty and he's getting a bath as soon as this video is done. So hopefully in my next video, I will have Christmas in My Heart finished to show. It won't be in a frame, but I hope to have this finished to show in my next video. My next project is Heartstring Samplery, His Eye on the Sparrow. I'm stitching this with my friend Michelle of Cozy Egg Designs. We work on this on Sundays. Some Sundays I can get quite a bit done, and other Sundays, like this past one, I was only able to work on the border, and then I think that's a squirrel right next to the back side of the cow. But I was able to have a page finish, which was super exciting. I felt very accomplished when I did, and then have now moved on to page 2. I so enjoy working on this piece so much. I'm stitching it on a piece of 40 count One More Reproduction by BeStitchMe, and I am using all of the called for threads, stitching it 1/2. But it is just so fun every week when you get it out on that Sunday and you look to see the progress that you've made. And then you just kind of, well, at least in my case, I just sort of look at the chart and then zero in on a couple of motifs and then try to get that done. So when I looked at it this past Sunday, I decided to focus on the border and then that squirrel. And that's about all the time that I had before my brain just went, no more. So I'm looking forward to getting back to this on Sunday. It's just so fun. I love Sundays with Sparrow. It's just so fun. And I love stitching it with Michelle too. It's just been a blast. After my last video, I got this wild idea to work on, out of the Souvenirs of Summer book, Summer Jubilee. I don't remember why. I'm not sure if I had finished recording and went onto Instagram and saw somebody else working on it and decided to pull it out, but I spent a couple of evenings working on it. I don't know how well it's going to show up in the viewfinder. I'm using all of the called for threads, but I'm stitching it on a piece of 36 count Tin Roof by Weeks Dye Works. And in person, it does show up, but on camera, I don't know. It's very fadey. And I'm trying to determine if I should keep going or if I should abandon this project and find something else. So that is kind of why I stopped. I don't know if after I get more motifs added, if it will make a difference, but definitely very fadey. The other option is I could go and unpick the alphabet and restitch it in something a little bit brighter. I'm just not sure. I had it laying across the room and I could see it no problem. I would frame it with a dark colored frame. So maybe the combination of having more of it stitched with the dark frame would kind of help it stand out a little bit. But, you know, across the room, depending on which room it's in, you can see it just fine. So we'll see. I don't know. I mean, I like it, but I don't know if I like it enough. I don't know if I'm comparing it to the original, which was stitched on a piece of linen that you can't get anymore. I don't know. A lot of the colors are different too. And the red is more of like a pinky red now. So I just don't know what I should do. I love it and I would love to get it done this summer. And you know, it's one of those projects where when she re-released it, or when they re-released it, I knew I wanted to stitch it, but I don't know how it's going to look if I keep going versus if I were to stop and find a darker piece of linen. I don't know. And that's why I stopped. Otherwise, I would have it finished. So I need to determine what to do. My husband's like, "You're over halfway. Why would you stop?" But if I keep going and it's still very fadey, I don't know if that would bug me. So I definitely need to decide before I pick it up again, because either way, I would love to have it done this summer. I just love it. So we'll see. I'll lay it on the back of the couch and I'll just kind of eyeball it for a couple of days and see how I feel about it, whether I need to restart it or if I should just keep going. So after my last video and after I'd spent a couple of days working on Summer Jubilee, I decided to pick up Out of the Winds of Autumn book, First Winds of Autumn, and work on it until it was complete. So I was able to reach that goal. I have decided that I am not going to finish mine into a strawberry. Instead, I will frame it. And this is one of the 3 projects that I hope to take to Hobby Lobby and pick out a frame for. When I was there picking out a frame for Elizabeth Furness, which, by the way, thank you to everyone for all of your wonderful comments on Elizabeth's finish. I have enjoyed having her on my wall this past month. She's so beautiful, and it looks like she's always been there. And if I think about it, I'll insert a picture of where she is hanging in the other room. But thank you for all of your wonderful comments. It meant so very much to me. So when I was picking out Elizabeth's frame, there was a frame that I saw that I thought would be perfect for this piece. So that was another reason why I wanted to complete it. So the hope is to take Jack's Bash, First Winds of Autumn, and Christmas in My Heart to Hobby Lobby and pick out frames for them. I will just purchase the frames and then I'll bring them home and finish them myself. So I was very, very happy to have this one done. It's so unique and I love it. And it's one of those projects that when I first got back into cross stitching, I was on Pinterest and I was searching for cross stitching ideas and just, you know, immersing myself into cross stitching again. And this was one of the ones that popped up. Of course, it popped up as a strawberry, but I loved it all the same. And, you know, as soon as it was re-released, I knew that I needed to stitch it. I love it. Of course, I learned right away that it was out of print and had been for a while. I think it was a club exclusive to Dying to Stitch. And then when I was able, a friend sent me the kit. She had went to a retreat there. Deborah went to a retreat at Dying to Stitch and she sent me the kit. Gosh, I think it was back in 2019 when she sent that to me. And it was just a dream come true to have it. And then, of course, I had to work up the gumption to work on it. So when Becky, Socks for Mom, and Christine Hollis Hands Create decided to do this as an October birthday start, I jumped in. So the only thing I didn't do is down below the crow's feet, there is a partial border that you stitch. And since mine is going into a frame, I decided not to stitch it and leave it just as it is, with the birds standing closer to me in the house in the background. I love it. Love, love, love it. So I'm so happy to have this done. I can't wait to get it framed. I have most of, well, at least the autumn pieces hang up down the hallway. This one, when I get it framed, I might just go ahead and hang it somewhere around here so I can enjoy it for a while. But I'm so, so excited to have it finished, and now at the point where I need to get a frame for it. I'm just really excited. So I most likely will leave this out at least through the time I get it framed all the way until I take stuff down for Christmas. But I stitched First Winds of Autumn on a piece of vintage bees. Is it beeswax? I think it's vintage beeswax. I'll put the correct information down below, but I think it's 36 count vintage beeswax with the called for threads, and I stitched it 1/2. And again, I'm going to frame it and not fully finish it into a strawberry. Although it looks beautiful as a strawberry, I've also seen it framed, and I just like it so much better. But I love it. I'm so happy to have that one done. And yes, I can't wait to get it in a frame and then get it on my wall. I'm so excited. So I was able to do a little fully finishing over the past 3 weeks. What was it, back in March, I finished Casting a Spell by Blackbird Designs. And I kind of had it just hanging out, waiting until I worked up the courage to fully finish it. And I was able to do that over the past couple of weeks. I did post a picture of it on Instagram last week, and thank you to everybody for all of your wonderful comments. The finishing inspiration came from Instagram. So I think Sandy, Quilts 43 is where the finishing inspiration came from. So I'm not sure how much detail-wise I can go into how this was finished, because I would rather you go to the source to get your information. But Yvette had asked if we could copy, and so she told us how she did her finishing. So what I can do is tell you what I did differently. So the one thing that I really, really liked about her finish was that all of her pieces were all the same height from each other, instead of, I think the original one, the 4 outside blocks, you were supposed to put them on a jelly or a Jello box, and then the guys in the middle were supposed to be small pillows. And I mean, I loved it. But when I saw how she had done hers, I liked how they all were the same height. So before I had found out, or, before I had seen her finishing inspiration, I had thought about doing this very similar, but instead pushing them all the way to the back of the box, sort of to make a shadow box. And then, of course, I changed my mind when I saw she did hers. Now, the only thing I did different was her pieces, she mounted them onto foam core with one piece of batting behind it. And I decided to put mine on mat board because I have a bunch of little pieces left over from other projects, and I just felt like it would be a good way to use those up. So I measured each box because even though they are similar in size, like for instance, these are 3 by 3.5. They are not all the same size. Each one is a little bit different. In fact, this one over here, I mean, you can see that the wood is bowed a little bit. So what I did, I measured each box, and then I cut each box out, and before I moved on to the next one, I set my piece of mat board inside to make sure that it would fit. I got all of that done, and then I started working on putting I put 2 pieces of batting onto the mat board, and then I laced my pieces on top of that, and then I set them in the box. So it takes a little bit of time, but once you get all of your pieces cut out, which is what I would recommend, because once you have your pieces cut out and you know where each one sits, then you can just from then fully finish. But I absolutely love how this turned out. It's probably my most favorite finish. And I just love it. I love it, love it, love it. And because each piece was cut to the boxes, when I go like this, they don't fall out. They're not glued in there, but you know, because they are cut for each piece, once you add the linen to it, they fit in there pretty snug. So, I mean, obviously, if I drop kick this across the room, all the pieces would fall out, but I like that they don't move. So, I just want to say thank you so much to Sandy for allowing us to copy her finishing. I loved how she did hers. It's beautiful. So I'll put a link to her Instagram so that you guys can go and, you know, peruse all of her, you know, beautiful projects that she's working on. But I love it. Love it, love it. So I took my finishing inspiration from her, and I'm so very grateful that she allowed me to copy her. Well, my friends, that brings me to the end of today's video. And I'm not even sure how long this video is going to be. I did a lot of stops and starts and deletes and all the things. And so hopefully when I sit down to edit these tomorrow night, it is coherent. I want to once again apologize for not having a video last week. I don't think anybody noticed, but if you did, I'm sorry. I know I had every intention of letting everybody know, but it just got away from me. So I promise, 100% promise, I will be back in 2 weeks. Promise, promise. And I'll share what it is I've gotten done. I can't imagine it's going to be a lot, but then I will share some of the summer finishes that I've had from past years. I think it'll be fun to kind of revisit those. Haven't done that in a while, so I think it'll be fun. Hope you'll come back and see what I've been working on, and then of course see those finishes too. But if you have stuck around for this length of time, thank you so very much. I do appreciate you so very much. If you would like to see what I'm up to in between my videos, you can follow me on Instagram. I'm Pumpkin Hollow Quilts. And on Facebook, I have a Facebook page called Pumpkin Hollow Quilting, and I'll put a link to both of those places down below. I also will include everything that I have shown in today's video. If you're at all curious, that's a great place to go to look in case I have forgotten to say it in the video, what I stitched or stitched on or stitched with, or if I have misspoke and got things mixed up, which does sometimes happen. I sit down to do these videos and, you know, my brain is like, boop, 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 and then I hit record and it just goes, boop. Anyway, so thank you as always for stopping by. I do appreciate you. Happy Memorial Day, because I won't see you until June 1st. So I hope you have a great Memorial Day weekend. If you're new here, I hope you will consider subscribing. The next couple of videos won't really be like the traditional videos that I have. It's probably going to be primarily cross-stitching, but then once we get past June, I'm hoping that things will sort of even out, and then, you know, we'll be back to the usual broadcast. Anyway, hope you guys have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you all again soon. Bye.